In this video, we're going to be working on Ad's bike. What he wants to do is change the bars out. So let's go do that. Next thing we want to do is just loosen the bars up and slide this off. It's easier that than to undo these things. What were you saying about like taking things apart on this bike and how, you know, none of these bolts would have been...
Yeah, so normally you'd have to video the bit so you can remember where you put them back, or that's what I would do, take pictures. We don't need to. So we have got a Haynes manual, and we've got a climber manual for this model. But more importantly, we've got your bike, so and you've got mine. So if we ever get confused about routing or parts or components, then we can just compare bikes.
Before you come at us for removing these grips, which are standard and stock, they are deteriorating. They're 27 years old, just like I am deteriorating. But anyway, we're cutting them open and putting new grips on because we've got cooler grips. And at this point, I did realise it was going to take a little bit of finesse to get these off. So while I was away battling this, Dad continued on doing stuff.
So it's kind of cool when you are working on a bike that is 27 years old and you think that the last time anybody touched this particular bolt was when it was being assembled. So it's almost like time travel. What we can say is that we're thankful that he used Loctite, otherwise it wouldn't be here anymore.
But what also blew my mind was when we removed the headlight from the housing, I was completely blown away by how little wiring there actually was.
You can even see the original cabling with the part numbers still on the bike.
They really weren't joking when they said it was a simpler time. A time where it was a little bit easier for the average punter to work on their own bike, he says. Because as you'll see, we encounter quite a few roadblocks.
Let's just check in on Tom. Tom, how are you getting on with those grips?
It's going alright, I think. Alright.
Is that a special tool, that one, or?
Yeah, special tool. I'm here just eating rubber, that's what I'm doing. It's fine. I got most of it off. Gnawed at it.
Okay, let's see if we can find something a little easier on your teeth.
With teeth saved for another day, here's a quick glimpse at two of the bar options Dad's going for. The first one is going to be the XLX DOS handlebars. They're kind of the same as the ones we already have on there, just a little bit wider. These are more traditional. They used to come stock on many Harleys. Dad, though, used to throw them out to swap them out for ape hangers because that was the thing to do. But as time has passed, he started warming towards them. So, out of the two, the winner is the flat track bars. Same rise, just a bit wider. These are the XLX bars, basically a stocker bar that I ordered for myself. However, I wanted a bit more rise, so Dad has commandeered it and put it on his bike, and it looks the nuts, and now I want it back. Again, one of the great things about having the same bike is you can actually see a real life comparison of the different looks. Take this for example, this is the stock handlebars on my Sportster that came factory in the year 2000, but if we look at the new bars on the bike, you can clearly see how this has a better stance. It's more asserting, less compact, and a lot more confidence inspiring. So yes, I did order another set for myself. Anyway, while Dad had lunch, Lewis came over because he's also got himself a new bike.
Hola, señor, señoritas.
And he's just put an X-pipe on his bonnie, so let's listen to it.
It's going to be quite loud.
Lewis Pooper.
Interesting, Guy Martin's been banned for speeding.
Yeah, it was only like 6 miles over the speed limit.
Mental.
I want to stop the bike then.
You want to listen to the bike?
Yeah.
Should I put you? Should I put you there? Sorry.
That's fucking ridiculous. What the fuck? If you want a full build review with Lewis at some point, we'll do that. That'll be quite cool.
I'm doing this on the cheap and it comes out alright. Yeah, this guy as well. Found a guy on eBay, done some like pre-made / cut stainless steel ends. Just does them to the diameter of your pipe. Slide on. Done.
How much?
20 quid for two. 20 quid for a pair, which is mental. But I don't know. I might experiment. I might put the original pea shooters on just to see what it sounds like. But I like the look of the shotgun. It's much better in my opinion. Might just be a little bit too loud. Yeah, little bit.
Now, Dad managed to get the new clutch cables sorted without too much drama, and it's worth mentioning the stock length clutch cable actually works just fine with these bars. While he was doing that, I got stuck into the throttle cables. On the Sportster, you've got two of them, your throttle cable and your idle. In theory, they should just pop into the controls, emphasis on should. But I ended up using a set of picks to help persuade the old cables out because my big old chunky fingers aren't exactly designed for jobs like this. Then once we'd got the new cables connected to the carb, the next challenge was getting them fitted into the throttle tube. We'd already fought to get them into the controls and now they were putting up another fight. The cables are different sizes, so it's pretty hard to mix them up, but these aftermarket ones just didn't seem to fit the way they should. And at this point, we started convincing ourselves the problem was the cable length. We can get the little cable ends, the technical term is probably not nubbins, but that's what we're calling them, to sit properly in the throttle tube. So naturally, we assumed the 2-inch over cables were too short. So Dad ordered a set of 4-inch over cables, which brings us to a few days later. And to cut a long story short, we had the exact same problem. But then, I noticed something. It is a big learning process, so we're still trying to figure out what we actually want to do, whether that was how the cables were from factory, which both of us doubt, but it was just a coincidence that both our bikes had it the same way without the little casing on the end. Nubbins. The nubbins on the end. Neither of our bikes had it. We just cut it off, or Dad cut it off with the Dremel. He said it was a very nerve-wracking job, which I'm not surprised about. And we're just going to run it how the bikes were like when we got it, and it seemed to do the job. As you saw, it was only on the one side, not on both sides that we did it. Didn't need to do on both sides, but when I'm coming to do my bike, Dad has so kindly already got me a set of cables that I can do the same process too. There were the 2-inch over ones which we think would work still, so we're going to try that on my bike when I swap my bars out. But yeah, what a ball ache. With the cable saga finally behind us, we move on to something a bit more exciting. Up until now, we've been mainly fixing things and replacing worn out parts. This is one of the first jobs where we actually start upgrading something. Dad had picked up a set of Hell Performance braided brake lines, and to be fair, it's probably a worthwhile upgrade. The stock lines do the job, but they are a bit short, and when you're relying on a pair of single port calipers to stop basically a lorry, any extra help we can get is worth having. So we got everything laid out and got stuck in. If you need to. Oh yeah, so depending on how old you are, depends on how effective this human tool actually is. But to get the measurement of the bolt, all you have to do is, my 27 years of age has unlocked me the ability to do this. If it's a hole, put your finger up against it and quickly run over to your tool set to figure out how big you need an Allen key or whatever. But yeah, there you go, and it worked. Can never fault them. When I had it on the Bonneville, I knew I'd want to have the same again for future bikes. It just looks so mean. Like, that looks so industrial, if that makes sense. It's just a block, and it's probably the easiest thing to install so far, probably because it was made in England. And that'll be it for the meantime until the M8 bleed nipples arrive from wherever Dad's ordered them from, because the ones that are on the calipers at the moment are a bit beaten up and rounded. Just no bueno. And Dad just said he's got Hell Performance ones, which makes sense because their stuff is great. Anyway, so the next shot will be that, but probably another day. They were the wrong size. Now Dad ordered the right ones, he says. The ones that came were not the ones that work with our bikes, because it was a metric, we need AF, and it was another fiasco. As you can probably gather from this channel, it's a lot of ups and downs, but most of the times it's a down and then there is a little up. And in this case there was a big up. We were scrambling to try and find bleed nipples because we wanted to go and have like a father and son day out on bank holiday on our Sportsters. We just got it. Dad's barely been able to go out on the bike and everything was happening, so we were really trying to find some bleed nipples that would arrive next day on a Sunday, or if we could pick them up on a Sunday. And we couldn't. But then Dad had a eureka moment. So, as it stands, I don't know how close that is to my face, but no fancy camera stuff, no, just straight out the phone, because we thought, you know, we've bled brakes on the channel before. We don't need to keep showing you guys us bleeding brakes. But these bleeding brakes aren't cooperating. So Dad's got the new Hell Performance brake lines on. We've got it torqued down. He's ordered some new bleed nipples because his ones on this one already are kind of rounded. Not kind of, a lot are rounded. He ordered some from Hell Performance. We tried to put them in and they are too small. And you did get the right ones. Well, I
ordered the right ones.
You ordered the right ones. They might have just sent out the wrong ones. Yeah. Now, here we are, panicking. It's getting late in the day. It's now, like, what, 8 p.m?
Yeah.
Sun's about to go down soon.
It's beautiful weather.
It's beautiful weather. It's super hot. We're getting frustrated because it is hot as well. We're working on the bike, as always. It's just a common trait that we have, even though we love bikes. Panic searching for bleed nipples. I even put it out in my story that if anyone has some bleed nipples, because I really want to get Dad back out on the Sportster on the bank holiday Monday, because you don't get a chance to ride the bike that often. But, cutting a long story short, Dad obviously used to have Harleys in the past. We picked up some bits from Nan's house like a couple of months ago, of other parts that we might need, because, you know, we were planning to get these bikes. And lo and behold, Dad had a eureka moment, and show us what you got.
These. So these have got to be at least 12 years old, and they're speed bleeding nipples from Russell, which I never got round to fitting on any of the Harleys I had.
These are the fancy schmancy ones. You want to talk about that quick?
Yeah, well,
at the time at least.
Never used them. Yeah, they've got a built-in ball bearing, so it stops the air from coming back in, so you can open it. So you can do it on your own. You don't have to have somebody there cranking it. But I'm not going to let you do that. You're still going to help me.
But yeah, what a find, what a moment. Back on the job, and then yeah, that's it. This has gone on longer than it needed to, but I thought that was just a really cool, so cool coincidence and happy moment. Someone's definitely looking after us. Maybe it's Uncle Mark, anyway, or Uncle Log, or Andy. But yeah, so we're gonna get back to this, and I'll pick it up this video wherever else we left off from. I didn't even English then, Dad. That's the problem with being half. Yeah, didn't even English. Yeah. And I don't know, it was a weird feeling like someone was actually looking out for us. They were playing tricks the whole process through the changing of the handlebars, which in theory should be a simple process, but then in the end, when we were close to giving up, we found something, or Dad found something, still in its original packaging, unused, untouched for those years, until we put them on this Sportster, just waiting for the right moment. And, well, let me just show you. You got this. We framed it. It's the casing for the speed bleeders, so we framed it, and it's also a good memento for us. I thought it was weird and wacky, and yeah, I liked it. I got Dad to sign the back of it, and it's going to be with us forever. Russell Speed Bleeder. Oh my God, that was a pain. The Speed Bleeder, we didn't know whether it's going to keep working or not. It's been over 20 plus years, so we didn't know whether the speed bleeding would actually happen. Basically, instead of having like the ball bearing in the tube, you have the ball bearing in the bleed nipple, which I think is pretty cool. But the only problem with that is, what happens if it seizes? And we didn't know how to check that because we don't have micro telescopic viewfinders or whatever. So we just had to run it. Now the problem was, we felt like we were bleeding the brakes forever because our tube had the bit on the end of it, this had the bit on the end of it, and it was working. So both ball bearings were like creating a vacuum inside of the brakes. So we just sacked it off the tube, and it seemed to go a lot quicker. So yeah, now he's got working brakes. They need to be bled again though, but these work or are more reactive than mine, so I need to change my brakes. But yeah, this is what the bike looks like with the new handlebars. Get some cool clips of it for you to see, and whether you guys like it or not. I'm going to probably do the same on my bike, but as of filming this video, like 2 weeks later, I found myself an oil leak, surprise surprise, on my bike. So we're going to see how much that's going to cost, but that's for later. I've got other videos beforehand. Click off now, but before you do, please hit that subscribe button. It really means a lot, so I can actually afford owning a Harley.